Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Luke Papala Show. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I guarantee you're not going to regret it. Before we get on with the news, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think. As of now, we're offering memberships to the channel for as low as 99 cents per month. And if you like the channel and want to contribute financially to the channel, this will allow you to be able to help us make things better for you. Better podcasts, better interviews, better skits, better everything in general. That will be delivered to you, the viewer. So we thank you so much. Let's get started. First thing we're talking about today is conservative women. Specifically how they should just shut the hell up. Really. And if you think that's inflammatory, calm down. Let me make my point. We're going to start off with this woman, this conservative influencer. Her name is Allie Beth Stuckey. If you know her, she's from the Relatable podcast. So Turning Point USA had a conference this past week, and they had a couple speakers, a lot of speakers, in fact, who were women. And this speech from Allie Beth Stuckey, it caught the eye of a lot of conservative men, a lot of men in general, and a lot of men on the right are accusing Allie Beth Stuckey of lecturing men. So we're just going to play this clip for you. We're not going to play the whole thing, but we're going to play this for you, and then we will react to it. Here we go.
Porn has weakened men. And you know, Charlie was so good at talking about this and so good at talking so courageously and sternly and clearly to the young men. Here's what we know about porn and why it is so detrimental, not only to men, although it disproportionately affects men. Porn objectifies women and children. It commercializes sex, which is a gift from God for a married couple between one man and one woman, and it glorifies violence. It creates addiction and shame. It destroys marriages. It ruins your perception of other people. It is the legal loophole for sex trafficking. It is evil in every way, and it will destroy your life. And this is what I would want to say to men, and I hope that you hear it from strong men in your life, that men, we need you. And we need your masculinity, and we need your strength, and we need your boldness, and we need your courage, and we need those things to be harnessed for good. We need you to be solid pastors. We need you to be strong leaders. We need your voice. We need you to bravely stand up for the most vulnerable, to stand up for women and children and for the unborn, to raise a respectful ruckus for the things that matter. We need really strong men, and porn makes you weak.
Listen to what she said, okay? You can play that video back. She's basically telling men what she expects of them. Now, I agree with her points. I agree that porn is very damaging to men. I 100% agree. I see that. We feel that in Gen Z all the time. We understand that there are all of these issues that are confronting us, right? And women do need protection from men. But why is this message coming from a woman? Why would men listen to a message coming from a woman telling them how to behave? And I've grown a bit tired of this too. You see all of these women in culture and society that are empowered, and they feel the need to lecture men. Not just on the right, obviously, but the left more so. So a lot of people were upset about this. A lot of people thought, who is Allie Beth Stuckey to lecture men? She's not even a man. Yes, these points might be correct, but it sounds much different coming from a woman, if you're a man, than an older man, like a Tucker Carlson per se. So a lot of people were frustrated by this. A lot of people didn't like the tone. And a lot of people have had it up to here with women lecturing men, telling men who they can be and what they can do. It doesn't go like that. Now we come to Riley Gaines. She quote tweets that. She goes, "If you're a man who feels offended by this, there's a good chance you're exactly the kind of man she's talking about." And now we have to talk about conservative women, because I see all of these conservative women, whether they're the evangelicals online or whether they're traditional Catholics online. And I find it kind of funny that they would take time, a lot of the mothers, that they would take time away from their families, away from being mothers. Candace Owens says make men a sandwich, be this trad woman, yet she has a podcast every single day when she could be recording an episode once a week maybe, or maybe not even at all. She has 4 kids. Shouldn't she be mothering those kids? She's tweeting all the time, particularly at Nick Fuentes. Shouldn't she spend less time online and less time being a mother, or more time being a mother, rather? I mean, these are the things that she's telling us to do, telling women to do. Why can't she do those things? Why do we have women constantly lecturing men online about things like pornography? Yes, we understand this is bad. Quit telling us what to do. Let us find a way. The only way you're going to be able to quit porn is if you quit watching. As somebody who had a problem with pornography at one point in my life, like, I understand this. You're only going to be able to solve this problem if you, at the end of the day, stop watching and you stop that cycle. Hearing women tell you what to do is not going to help you. It's actually quite annoying. So Riley Gaines is another one of these conservative female hypocrites, which is what a lot of these women are. So she's saying, like I said, if you feel offended by this, there's a good chance you're exactly the man she's talking about. And who was Riley Gaines? Riley Gaines is the Kentucky swimmer who ended up being beaten by a biological male, transgender, in the competition. Got famous for her opposition to the whole trans movement because it was being harmful to the female population of the country that's playing sports, right? We understand that. Whatever. But Riley Gaines actually is not acting as a conservative. See, she will be the first one to condemn men for not being traditionally masculine, yet she will post bikini photos on Instagram and online. So here's a photo of Riley Gaines from 2024 doing the ultra-right beer team-up with the Real American Women sports calendar. So here it is. Here's Riley Gaines in a bikini. Riley, this isn't very traditional. This is not something, if you're going to lecture men, if you feel the need to lecture men, then you should probably take our advice as well and put on some clothes. Here's another one. Here's another thirst trap from the mother. Look at that. This Conservative Dad's Real Women of America 2024 calendar featuring the most beautiful conservative woman in America. If you want to act conservative, then you should probably cover up. If you want to proclaim to be a conservative woman and you want to proclaim that we need to really go back to traditional values, you should probably put some clothes on. Until then, I don't think I want to hear you lecture men about what they should and shouldn't do. I've had it up to here with that. It's really too much. It doesn't make sense to me how these women on the right who aren't even conservatives. If they were conservatives, they wouldn't have a show. If they were conservatives, they would actually put their energy into their family, put their energy into motherhood, not put themselves out there all of the time. They're rejecting the simple traditional conservative values that they pretend to represent. I really had it up to here with these hypocrites because all they are at the end of the day is grifters. It's very sad to hear that, especially because we do have a lot of people that are going back to mass, that are becoming Catholics. But I see this Catholic movement is often subverted by these online e-girls that say, oh, yeah, you know, I wear the veil and I go to the Latin Mass. But then you're posting pictures of yourself in bathing suits and you're always online when you know you put another thing, you put your kids out there. I hate when these people post their kids. If anything, why would you just keep it a point to not put them on the internet? You're trying to be conservative. Why would you not protect your kids from everything online? I seriously don't understand that. They act like their kids are props. Riley Gaines just has her kid. What's she doing? She's taking a picture with the kid and the husband and the baby. The baby is in her arms, and you can see the baby's face. They're not just cropping the baby's face out. They don't put an emoji over it. Like, they're showing off the kid as to say, oh, here's my prop. Look at my conservative family. What a self-righteous thing to do. I just don't understand that. I've never agreed with that, and I've always felt really uncomfortable when you have these conservative women that are proclaiming all these traditional values, and you look over and you see they're doing shit like this. They're thirst trapping. Riley Gaines was thirst trapping when she was married. That's a little bit crazy. Let me fact check that real quick. I want to fact check that and see exactly when Riley Gaines was married because, you know, I don't want to say something I don't know. Okay, the couple, yes, Riley Gaines is married to Lois Barker. The couple married in 2022. So you were thirst trapping when you were 2 years married. 2 years, married for 2 years, and you were thirst trapping, knowing damn well you had a husband, and yet you tell us that you're conservative. You try to put this out there and say, hey, yes, I am the most conservative woman, the most conservative voice. I've had enough of that, dude. You can't be a conservative woman, a family woman, and be thirst trapping and be putting yourself out there all the time. And here's a dozen photos of my family. Look at my conservative family. I'm perfect. Stop. It just doesn't make sense to me. Stop it. Delete your Twitter. Be with your family. You have a job. I just don't understand the contradiction. Again, and I'm not a woman. That's the thing. I'm married. I don't have kids. I have responsibilities that are not as great as Riley Gaines' responsibility. Being a mother, being a parent is the greatest job in the world. If I had a kid, I wouldn't invest so much time into podcasting. I would invest more time in being a father. It's just common sense to me. But when you give all of these women power, and again, this is a larger representation of society. We have a female-dominated society. Women have been taught for the last 30 years to boss men around, to tell men everything that they like and don't like. Happy wife, happy life. You've heard that. I've heard that my entire life. And I find that to be really odd because what happens when the husband isn't happy? He just has to take it? He just has to continue to be in a marriage where he can't show any displeasure at all? That's a little bit crazy. Let's not forget that men built this country. Let's not forget that in all societies, men have been the ones that built them. Women have been the ones, unfortunately, to say that, I don't mean to be a dick by saying this, but have been on the sidelines that haven't built the country. It has always been men. And you see the shift. Now we're placing a greater importance on women. Now we're putting women in charge of everything. And you see the world is crumbling. So this, in an essence, in a nutshell, to wrap it up, is the issue I have. If you're going to be this media personality, fine. If Riley Gaines wants to tweet, God bless her, tweet. But quit proclaiming that you are the number one conservative woman, that you're conservative. You're not. You're not. You're just a feminist, and that's the problem. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. I got fired up. I got a little bit fired up, but it's true, no? You understand the contradiction. Not that I'm sure she's a nice woman, but you see the contradiction, and this is a problem. It is a big problem. Why do we continue to let these people have voices? It should be that these women get called out for their contradictions. And listen, either they can say like, yes, I am a feminist, and yes, I believe these things, and then they can go on and lose their audience, or they can just stop. Just stop. That's all I want. Make one of the two choices. It's not that hard. Anyway, we're going to move on here. We have another topic to talk about today. If you are on the left, then you know who Jennifer Welsh is. Jennifer Welsh has become one of the biggest political commentators on the left in the last couple of years. She is from, I believe, Oklahoma, and she has this popular podcast called I've Had It. Basically, she sounds off. She's been on CNN multiple times. She sounds off on political issues, and she comes from the left. She's able to be in touch with Middle America because she does live in one of those states in Middle America. So she understands the issues from that side. Well, she gave the ultimate contradiction when she was talking about J.D. Vance, specifically how he was a failed drag queen and how he was gay. And now, I wouldn't care. But Jennifer Welsh is on the left. Jennifer Welsh is on the side for the past 10 years that told me and the rest of the world that being gay was a good thing. So we're going to play this clip, and then I'm going to sound off. Here we go.
Human being on the planet. And then you get to J.D. Vance, who is a failed drag queen. You know, he is. He is a failed drag queen. He wanted to be a drag queen. He couldn't do it. He wasn't fabulous enough. He goes off to Peter Thiel's gay boot camp in Silicon Valley, and he comes out like a sociopathic, queer-eyed freak show. You know, he'd be so much cooler if he'd just come out. And, you know, I have this whole theory, Tommy, that in the MAGA movement, there's a group of DL demon queens. And I think that a lot of them are mad that they can't come out and feel pride. And so they browbeat everybody all day long. And then they get on Grindr at night, and then they go do gay stuff, and they wake up. But I think they think, like the Mike Johnson of it all, he's such a nut evangelical. I think he thinks, okay, I can't stop doing gay stuff. But if I make America Christian nationalist, then I'm going to curry favor with God. I grew up in a red state around all these evangelicals, and they think shit like this. Human being on.
Jennifer. What an insane contradiction, babe. What an insane contradiction. Again, the left for the past decade has been saying, oh, it's okay to be gay. If you're gay, we have heart surgeons, and then you're right here. Jennifer, what a mask-off moment. And this is how these people talk more and more, the Kyle Kalinskis. We'll get to him in a second. But these political commentators on the left, Don Lemon calling Megyn Kelly trans, saying she's ugly, like, what? What happened? For the past 10 years, you guys have told me that being gay, being trans, the Purple Heart, people that got a Purple Heart, and those people are right here above them. Being gay was the highest achievement. Being gay, being trans, being whatever the fuck was the highest thing. And God forbid, don't you insult those people now. Don't you make fun of those people. Don't you do that. That is what you've told us. You've made this group of people on a pedestal. You've put them on this pedestal, and you've said, nothing can be better than you. This is the biggest group that's marginalized, and you cannot touch them at all. With any insult, there's nothing that you can say about these people that we will tolerate. And now you turn it around, and they would get at you. If somebody on the right insulted these people, the left would have a field day. The left would be so upset, and the outrage machine would be ridiculous. But the moment the mask is off, you see these political commentators on the left, like a Jennifer Welsh, what they really think. So what is it? Is gay okay, or is gay laughable and an insult? What is it? Is gay an insult now? Because you really just switched up like that. I don't understand the contradiction. What an insane contradiction. Where does their constituency go from here? I'm not sure. But I find it very odd, very contradictory, to switch up so quickly like this. It's very crazy. But this is not the end of Jennifer Welsh. Jennifer Welsh is somebody that I think is a little bit crazy. Again, I'm on the right, but she's on the left. She's a little bit more outspoken than your traditional political commentator on the left. She's not as buttoned up. She comes from a red state, like you heard, but she's been going viral for a couple of clips. That one first, and I'm trying to find the second. So not only is Jennifer Welch a hypocrite for making fun of J.D. Vance for being gay, using being gay as an insult, but she also was happy about Charlie Kirk being assassinated. And so we have this clip. I'm going to play this clip. And she's talking about the No Kings protest, and I will just leave it up to the clip. Here we go.
If you think this Zoran thing is happening just in New York, and you think people are waking up only in New York City, you're mistaken. Look at this clip of a wine mom at the No Kings March. Play the clip.
Whatever his name was?
Charlie Kirk, ma'am?
Yeah, him is horrible. Horrible.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
You're glad he's dead?
Yes.
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
Because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses. Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well,
would you
so
be
sorry.
glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Your friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
I think we need to...
So listen up, Democratic establishment. You can either jump on board with this shit, or we're coming after you in the same way that we come after MAGA.
What? Folks, this woman is nuts. This woman is nuts. She's openly endorsing people yelling and screaming in joy after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And then when that protester went up to Caitlin Bennett went up to that protester, which I'm not a big fan of Caitlin Bennett. But when Caitlin Bennett goes, would you be happy if I died? And the protester goes, maybe. And Jennifer Welch laughs. This is the modern day left. And then she goes, hey, Democrats, you better embrace this. Jennifer Welch and this group on the left is trying to infiltrate and make it mainstream. But they want violence. And this is nuts because this woman has lots of money. And this woman is sitting in an ivory tower fanning the flames of a potential revolution. This woman is mad. What a contradiction. Because these were the people that were all talking about, oh, Trump, the peaceful transfer of power when January 6th happened. All of this, we don't want a revolution. And now look what they're calling for. These people, not just Jennifer Welch, but they're all happy that Charlie Kirk is dead. They're all happy that violence is happening. It is so crazy. You folks don't understand. You don't want a revolution. You think a revolution is cute. We hear about the Revolutionary War. We hear about how we finally gained independence from Great Britain. We have a holiday, Independence Day, on July 4th. But you do not want a revolution. I don't think you understand what happens with a revolution. Lots of people die. And that might sound good to you in essence, in theory. But the reality is lots of people dying isn't good. And I think we should all remind everybody that. People dying isn't good. War is not good. Civil war is bad. It's bad. Overthrowing the government doesn't look like you think it does. The revolution is not cute. Look anywhere. Look at any government around the world in the past 20 years, over history, that has had their government overthrown by the people. It does not look good. So these commentators on the left that are really just ramping all of this up, do you understand what you're doing? People will listen to you. People will commit acts of violence because you say this stuff. That's why right here, again, we've said this a lot, but violence is not the answer. You should probably turn to God. Violence is not the answer. These people are nuts. So please guard your hearts. This is not something that you should be doing. Please do not listen to these people. Seek out people that are spreading a positive image. Seek out people that are not proclaiming violence as the answer, because it is not the answer. You can't follow people like this. You can't take these people seriously. I don't know if she actually believed this or if she's just getting off on what she's saying and is getting high on her own supply here, but I don't get it. Why is the left doing this? Why is the left continuing to say, good that Charlie Kirk's dead? Why are we celebrating violence? Why are we celebrating death? Even when the United Healthcare CEO was killed, Brian Thompson was killed. I understand why people were upset, but why are we glorifying murder? This does not go to a good place. Are we retarded? Are we dumb? A lot of us are dumb. But that's not the point. It just really, really is not a good look. It's not a good look at all. I'm not a fan of that at all. And so we're going to talk about another political commentator on the left, Kyle Kulinski. If you know Kyle Kulinski, he is the host of Secular Talk. He's also host of Crystal Kyle and Friends, Married to Crystal Ball. He's a very prominent independent political commentator on the left. And so over the past couple days, Kyle Kulinski has been making fun of Erica Kirk. He's been saying that she's a grifter and saying that she's pretending to grieve over Charlie Kirk. Now, we've also said that she was pretending to grieve over Charlie Kirk because, let's be honest, it looks a little bit suspicious. But we never had a relationship with Charlie Kirk. We never knew Charlie. And so I find it odd that Kyle, after having a relationship with Charlie, is going over and really going at Erica Kirk pretty hard. Now, what am I talking about? Example A I have right here is a picture of Kyle and Charlie Kirk. And we're going to put that on the screen for you now. Here we go. This is Charlie and Kyle probably in, I'd like to say 2019, but it might have been a little bit sooner than that. But look at them. So this is Charlie and this is Kyle. Probably hosted him at an event to talk. Charlie was very good about going across the aisle. Same with Hassan Piker and other Cenk Uygur and other political commentators on the left. He was very good about going across the aisle. Okay, so you have that. You understand what that is. Well, now, here is a couple of pictures of what Kyle's doing now. So here's one. He posted this today at 9:53 a.m. It's a picture of Erica Kirk. It says she's going through the normal 5 stages of grief: pyrotechnics, merch, podcasting, grifting, and acceptance. That's a little bit rude to say about somebody's widowed wife who did a lot for you, potentially boosted your community, your followers, gave you a different audience that you necessarily wouldn't have had. Here's another one. He posted this at 9:56. This guy's chronically online. What stage of grief is this? And it's Erica Kirk hugging Jesse Waters. And it's Erica Kirk hugging JD Vance. And it's Erica Kirk with another picture of JD Vance. Goes back to the quote, I see similarities with my husband, with JD. We read the quote. Basically, she was talking about how in leadership qualities, JD and Charlie Kirk have a lot in common. But there's more. Oddly enough, there is more. Here we have, I'm trying to find it. He posts this. So he posts this right here, this meme, and it's this fake grieving widow grifter costume. Includes fake teardrops, skin-tight black leather morning pants. And it's the picture of Erica Kirk. Listen, man, I have my suspicions about Erica Kirk at all. But at the end of the day, I do not have a relationship with her husband. I do not financially benefit from her husband having me at a Turning Point conference. I do not have a relationship professionally in any way with Erica Kirk at all. This guy appeared to be a friend, a distant acquaintance of Charlie Kirk. So to go at Erica Kirk like that so hard is really disingenuous, considering that having this partnership with Charlie Kirk in any specific way in the past, it helped benefit you. And this is another problem I have with Kyle and Joe Rogan. So Kyle Kalinske went on the Joe Rogan Experience like 6 times, okay? And this has been throughout the past decade. About 6 times, maybe 5 times. But the point is, by going on the biggest podcast in the world, by going on Joe Rogan's podcast, Kyle was able to financially benefit and also boost his program as well, as a result of Joe exposing him to all of Kyle's ideas, or exposing his audience, rather, all of Kyle's ideas. Kyle doesn't appear to be somebody that's loyal. He appears to be chronically online, which is kind of nuts. I mean, go on his Twitter. Every 20 minutes, it's either something about Joe Rogan or something about Erica Kirk now or something about Trump. He doesn't appear to be mentally well. And I think it's very disingenuous to, especially with Rogan. I mean, you financially benefited. Imagine what his following would be like now. Imagine how small his show would be now. I mean, he's got a big show. But imagine what it would be now if it wasn't for the Rogan boost 5-6 times. I mean, Joe Rogan had you in his podcast studio. He had you on the biggest show in the world. He didn't have to do that. And then this is how you treat him? You shit on him for the past year and a half just because he had Trump on, just because he agrees with some of the things Trump says. I mean, Joe came out a couple weeks ago and said he wasn't on board with these mass deportations. He called him inhumane. I disagree with that. But regardless, I mean, he's not a complete MAGA shill. And so I really think it's disrespectful to bite the hand that quite literally fed you, that helped get you to the position you are. I mean, you're one of the biggest independent left-wing political commentators that they are. But yet this is how you treat the guy that helped you get there? I just don't understand that. I don't get the backstabbiness of it. Why can't you just be loyal to somebody that helped you out? It's quite disingenuous to me. It's not right. It's not right. Let's see. What should we talk about next? I think there's one more thing. But I'm not sure. Should I talk about this? It's kind of been a slow news day, to be completely honest with you. What else is there to be outraged about? Okay, we can talk about this. So it's November 1st, and Snap is shut down. To my knowledge, I mean, I'm looking at this in real time here, 2:57 p.m., but to my knowledge, folks, we don't have Snap being restored here. Yeah, SNAP hasn't been restored. Food stamps haven't been restored. Who knows what's going to happen? I think that this is going to be beneficial in the end because I am concerned that there is a lot of fraud with the SNAP food stamp system, with Medicare, or whatever you would call it, not Medicare, welfare. I think it's a problem. I don't think you should be able to not have a job and receive income for just having kids in general. It doesn't make any sense to me. But what I will say to kind of close this episode off is when this episode comes out, if SNAP hasn't been restored yet, if food stamps haven't been restored yet, be safe. If you're a woman, and if you're a woman, you're probably not watching this, but if you're a woman, don't go to the grocery store alone, or if you go, probably be armed. Now, that's not an endorsement of violence, but you don't know, based off of the videos that I've seen, based off of how many threats there have been from people on the internet, not just a certain color, but all colors, saying, hey, if this doesn't happen, if we still don't have food stamps, then we are going to riot and loot. So, be safe in the impending hell that is the United States. Hopefully, things get better, but I don't know. Don't listen to Jennifer Welsh, though, because she is probably laughing somewhere in Oklahoma. Happy. Bye-bye.